And you've worked with my one of probably my favorite platforms, which is HBO, because they provide they just everything they put out is quality. Really,
Yeah, for the
it just
most
hits.
part.
And
Yeah.
because my friend and I, there's a friend of mine who's a big movie buff, and he used to be my co-host as well on a previous show we had. And
Hmm.
we always go like watch shows and sort of try to predict which actors and actresses are gonna make it or are gonna grow. And
Mm.
then I named you as one. I loved your character on the Deuce,
Oh, thank
and I
you.
checked the Deuce because I'm just a big fan of everything James Franco does.
Hmm.
So I was wondering, so how did you land that, and how did you prepare for the role?
Let's see. I landed that like any other, I auditioned. I went in
Auditioning.
for, yeah, I auditioned for the role. Probably, yeah, it was around maybe like, yeah, it was in during pilot season. So it
Mm,
was, a small scene. I didn't think anything of it really. I didn't know that it was going to be recurring. It just kind of was a couple lines. Um, and then when I found out I got it, so it was, obviously very exciting because it's
mhm.
David Simon and The Wire writers,
Yeah,
which is like, goals. The Wire is still, in my opinion, one of the best shows ever. Um,
incredible, and still every day people talk
yeah, it's
about it.
like
You
it
know.
doesn't die, right? It's still relevant.
Hmm.
So I was just stoked that I was going to get to work with them because it's like like a dream.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so I auditioned, I got the role, and then they started to unfold like how my character would be involved, and I made sure that I was up on all the characters, I was up on the show's history, and
Mhm.
really for me, like for preparing for a role like that, it's just how can I bring my true essence to the character? How can
Mm.
I like who is this person? It's like exploring who this character is. Where does she come from? What kind of things does she do when she's not at work? What drives her to do this job? So I really like to work on the backstory of the character
Mhm.
so that I don't have to work too much when I'm on set. Like I just already know who this person is.
And do you sort of channel that? I wouldn't say method acting or anything, but like more. You
No,
really
no,
sort of.
more like just like backstory, history
Mhm.
developing, like the true
But you
essence
sort
of
of
the
have to
character.
remember that, as in put yourself in her shoes, and
Yeah, and I guess it become we when you do in this doing this for so long, it just kind of like I know exactly like where I need to drop into. I know exactly who
mm,
this person is. I know how she carries herself. I know how she walks. You know,
mhm.
and that just takes like a little bit of doing the research on your own.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and then also like she was a black detective in the
Mhm.
80s, there weren't many of them. So
Yeah.
how did she get there? Like it's just kind of fascinating to flesh out that character.
It's cool, and I thought the whole show was amazing. I love shows that really like sort of look into the subcultures of a certain era and just based on true events. And
Mhm.
I mean, you seem to. Were you always? Did you have a thing for crime shows or like sort of being a detective? Because it seemed
I
like that
know.
you
I
get a
know.
lot of
No,
these roles.
I know. I've been a detective a lot of times.
Are you really a detective
No.
in real life?
I know.
No.
No, I guess that's just, where when you're starting out and where like
Mm.
because I think people have this kind of misguided interpretation of the industry like you can kind of control you can control, but a lot of it is especially when you're starting off, a lot of it is what's given to you. So I guess I just have the detective vibe. So I
Yeah.
just was, I booked those roles. Um and
I
I
just.
love that. I love that. I don't even like it's like,
Mhm.
they're strong. There tend to be strong characters.
Yeah.
They're in control. They're very interesting. So I love it. I'll play detective all day.
True Detective
Yeah.
season 4. Is it right? Because they
Yeah.
have 3 seasons. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Let's see. Let's see if they
HBO.
do that. Because you should.
Yeah.
You should. But also at the same time, what would you do, or what do you think you're doing to avoid being typecast? Maybe that's something a lot of actors probably
um
struggle with as well.
Yeah, yes, you can't, yes. I do know actors that have struggled with typecast and play the same
Hmm.
roles over and over again. To be honest, I think it comes down to personal desire and what you want. I also know that me being typecast is going to be very different from someone else. I'm
Mm.
not going to play a role that I don't, not that I don't fit, but like if I can't click into the true essence of the character, then it's probably not going to be a good fit for me. You know, like I probably won't book that
Yeah.
job. But typecasting, if some actors do really struggle with it, I think it's easier to avoid as you get further along in your career. Um,
Mm.
but some people also just enjoy playing it. Like it's just being on set
Yeah.
and working your butt off and then getting a job it's really a lot of work just to get on screen. Like people don't understand that. So for me, I can only speak personally. I'm not I don't think I've technically been typecast, even though I've played detectives. They've been very, very different kinds
Mm-hmm.
of detectives.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
as long as the character has a heart, as long as the character is developed and it has some depth to them, then I don't
Yeah.
mind, you know.